Hey guys, it's Andrew from Stockmoney Lizards, and I'm excited today to talk to you about something cool that's happening on the CMF, an indicator that we've been following for quite some time now, and how this relates to the 20-week moving average and the RSI. After this, we're going to be talking about what's going on in the ETH BTC chart along with the Bitcoin dominance. So let's just jump right into it. If we go and we look at the CMF, where you can see that we're about to finally come up to the zero mark. And we've been tracking this from about 0.08, 0.09. And as it has been moving up, price has been following, breaking through the 20-week moving average. Historically, for Bitcoin, whenever it is in a bull market, it will always be above the 20-week moving average, as you can see over here in this last run up. So cool, let's have a look at what's going on at the moment. So we have a high RSI on the weekly. We have CMF, which is about to hit zero, and we are about 9 to 10% off the 20-week moving average. Okay, so we were in the past, on the 22nd of June 2015, we came up to the zero level on the CMF. We were below the 20-week moving average, and we were low on the RSI, and that was followed by a rise in price. October 2015, we were in neutral territory on the RSI, breaking out of the zero mark, breaking the 20-week moving average and holding it, as you can see over here. This is the weekly time frame. Now, if we jump through to 2018, what you can see is we meet the CMF at zero over here. We were in neutral territory when it comes to the RSI, but we were below the 20-week moving average. So I don't personally think this is a good replication of where we are today. Now, there's been a lot of talk and speculation on us being in this area over here. Okay, so let's see what happened. We were for an extended period of time below the zero mark on the CMF. We hit the zero mark on April of 2019. We had an RSI, which was for an extended period of time, very high on the weekly. And we were about 20% above the 20-week moving average. So this is quite similar. Why? We have a high RSI. We're at zero mark and we're 20% above the moving average. And basically what happened what followed after that was we went up for quite some time. So that's one situation which I can see as being the closest to replicating at the moment, which adds to the thesis that we are actually in this particular situation. Then there's this situation over here. So we broke out of the zero mark, or we met the zero mark. We were below, however, the 20-week moving average, and we were below on the RSI, so I don't think we are here. In this particular case, we have been for an extended period of time below the zero mark on the CMF. We come to the zero mark over here on the 3rd of August 2020. We are above the moving average by about 10%, a high RSI. So, like, it would be really funny if everyone is thinking we're here, but in actual fact, we are over here, you know, because right after this, the bull market to 59K began, you know. Now, that basically covers the entire span of 2015 down to 2020, and this was the last one we saw. Okay, so this was exactly what we just saw now, which was the zero mark, high RSI. What happened over here, if we look closely, we went up, we went back down to the moving average over here on this particular situation. The CMF found support at the zero mark, and then it began its run all the way to its highs of 52,000 in euros. Apologies, I'm looking at the euro and not USD. However, there were other times that sort of we hit it in this cycle, and let's have a look at them now. So after this long and extensive period above the zero mark, we slowly dipped below it, came back up to the zero, and what happened was we were heavily below the moving average by 22%, and we were at the bottom when it comes to the RSI. I don't think we are replicating this move again. Same over here. RSI was high, so that's the same as now. Fair enough. Our moving average was 15% below the current price, which is somewhat close. So arguably we could be experiencing something similar that's going to happen here. And even in this case, the price still went back down to the moving average before making a push to the upside, which was the final push to the all-time high. Are we in this position here? I don't think so. Why? Because if you look at the CMF has had an extensive period of time under the level of 0, whilst over here it's had a lot of time above the level of 0. So you can arguably flip that we are actually in the opposite position. So after looking at these, what I can possibly say is that, ironically, this looks a lot and most similar to this. And if you think about it, if we go back down to meet the moving average, which is roughly at about 20K for USD, let's check. At the moment, the moving average is at about 19.4K. So let's assume we go back down and touch the 19.4K. I don't think that's a big problem. What I think will happen is if we come and we find support, we'll finally make our higher low, and that could possibly be confirmation of a bull market starting, price going up. I had also identified a pattern which I found, which was actually a fun pattern, which looked a lot like this. Okay, so now that we had a look at sort of these 0 marks and breakouts of these 0 marks, what happened, okay, in the past. What can we say? If we are in fact in this level over here, nobody's really talking about the fact that we could be in this level, which is interesting. Because if we do break out of this pattern over here, then retail investors that could come in potentially would be pretty massive. Now, let's not go into detail too much about this because, to be honest, this is all speculation, and sort of I just thought it was interesting to map out where we are at on the 0 mark and what was going on the RSI and what was going on with the moving average. So we have 3 points of reference. Going back to the Heikinashi candles, this also adds weight that this could be the start of the bull market. Why? Because we have the doji candle over here. They show that there's uncertainty. So price is going down. Everyone agrees price is going down. And for this month, people think, wait a minute, is price going to continue going down? And then the candle that precedes it says, no, we're actually going to go up. So this is something similar. Price is going down. Price is going down. Is this price going to go down? No, actually, we're going to go up. So it's like these types of situations. Now, are we here or are we here? I don't know. But if we do get above this level, then I can see a lot of euphoria coming into the market early on, and like maybe we could have a push to the upside. And again, I don't know. This is all speculation, and sort of I just thought it was fun to talk about. Finally, the Ethereum versus Bitcoin chart. So the official statement from the SEC, basically all it says in it is that Kraken cannot be offering this service where people can leave their staking coins to receive a yield, because they are at risk of their funds being lost, like we've seen in the past. Now, this initially to me said, okay, so Ethereum is the major staking coin. Why? It migrated from proof of work to proof of stake. So this is bad for Ethereum, which it could be. But there's an article which actually makes a claim that this could actually be really good for the Ethereum network. This guy says, I think this is good for decentralization. A product manager at Ethereum Research, he would obviously, but he makes a good argument. On a proof of stake network like Ethereum, one's stake equates to their power over the network. If one party accounts for enough of Ethereum stake, they can theoretically slow it down or block certain kinds of transactions. So I think what he's trying to say here is basically that if everyone stakes on an exchange, then the exchange is essentially the main powerhouse staking for everyone. So if the exchange can no longer be allowed to stake on behalf of investors, then the investors have to go out on their own and stake on their own on the network. So sort of the power shifts on the network to the individuals who are staking their own coins. So there are two sides to this coin. On one side, it's like initially the shock of people not being able to stake on Kraken, for example, is a big deal. So the price, we can look at it now. But on the flip end, in the long run, the Ethereum foundation can actually be a lot stronger because of this new rule. So now I'll just jump onto the Bitcoin dominance chart. And what we can see is that Bitcoin dominance has been ranging in this area for a significant amount of time, about 600 days, 650 days, roughly the same amount of time that the Ethereum Bitcoin chart has been ranging in this area over here, 660, 670 days. So something's going to happen. Either Bitcoin is going to break down and lose more share of the crypto market, or it's going to break to the upside and win more dominance in the crypto market. Now, if you look at what just happened with staking, this arguably helps Bitcoin, at least in the short term, and not so much staking coins or at least altcoins in general. Okay, so let's assume Ethereum is better off in the long run because now staking has been more decentralized. Now let's just have a look at the CMF chart, and the CMF chart is basically at about 0.10%. So if we go back to the last time it was at this level of 0.10%, we can see that the RSI was at a high level. We can see that we were above the 20-week moving average by about 5%. And if we go to the current levels over here, we can see that we have a higher RSI and we are about 3 to 4% above. So what this is showing is that same RSI, same CMF position, we're above the 20-week moving average. We are above the 20-week moving average. Bitcoin dominance seems to go up. Bitcoin dominance looks like it could at least go up to meet this high of 46%, which is currently at 43.5%. So it should hit the high of 46, 47%, maybe even make a slightly higher high. So for the sake of where we're going next on the Bitcoin dominance chart, I'm more inclined to say that we're moving upwards. Whilst for the Ethereum chart, I'm more inclined to say that we are going downwards. Now, one final look. When we were at this position, 24th of June 2019, if we look at what happened on the 24th of June, we were below the moving average, we were in neutral territory on the RSI, we were at a lower level on the CMF, and we went down by about 40%. So it's difficult to say what's going to happen with the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, but again, we'll keep track of this because with the ruling of staking coming out, it might be the SEC who are coming out to start regulating against altcoins, which might see a momentary dip into this level over here. If we take 40%, which is the same 40% in this region, that sort of puts us at this level in this box, which reaches the previous cycle high over here. So this was just an update on the CMF, RSI, Bitcoin, touching as well on Ethereum. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, please let me know in the comments below. This is not financial advice. Stay safe, guys.